Hey? Right, first time I've been on television, you know. Well, second time, actually. Last time I were on, sleep anyway when I'm drunk. Motor car shot straight down the road, policeman shot after it, pulled the driver up, he said, excuse me, sir. 4 mile back, your car door flew open and your wife fell out. Thanks for that, he said. So I thought I'd gone deaf. The devil's these police, aren't they? Hey? You're not policemen, are you? Hey? Policemen? Oh, the devils, aren't they? They're wicked. Police in Nottingham, they're the worst. I was there last week. I asked this fellow where this club was. He said, over at bridge, turn left, down to right, you can't miss it. I missed it. I finished up running down for 4 hours. Finished up where I started from. Old fella on corner, he says, are you lost? I said, lost? I said, I'm looking for this club. He says, who told you to go that way? I said, it was this Nottingham policeman. He said, take no notice of them. He said, they're still looking for Robin Hood, you know. Sorry. Oh, it's murder. These police, the police, you know, they'll do up for a bit of promotion. They will. Don't be drinking tonight, they'll be waiting outside for you. They had me. Not again. Don't drive now. They'll do out for a bit of promotion. Get outside that club, we'll have somebody. Bricks are down at our house, George. I said they're down at our house, Fred. Never mind, we'll have somebody. Bit of promotion for Christmas. Little motor car shut down the road, they said, get after him, George, we'll have him. 14 mile, a marvellous driver. Foot from the curb, 30 mile an hour, never varied, a beautiful driver. They said, go on, George, you'll do something wrong in a minute. Straight down the road, up to traffic lights. He stopped at red, revved up an amber. Way went at green, smart turn left, beautiful turn right. Down the road, up to zebra crossing, stopped. He let the kiddies across, the old people across. He waved at Lollipop Man. Straight down the road, foot from the curb. Go on, George, he'll put his foot wrong in a minute. They always do. Straight down the road, up a one-way street. Never saw the arrows, never saw the Indians. Hoolia. Straight down the road, 68 mile of it. They said, flag him over, George, he's too good for us. They flagged him over, he turned his window down. Big copper went over, he said, excuse me, sir, you're a marvellous driver, uncanny, clever, dodgy, swinging. Roses growing all over you. He said, you've stopped, started, turn left, turn right, stopped at red, revved up an amber, away you've gone at green, smart turn left, beautiful turn right, down the road, stopped at red, same procedure, away at green, up to zebra crossing, stopped, let kiddies across, all people across, waved at Lollipop Man, straight down the road, up a one-way street, never saw the arrows, never saw the Indians. Hoolia. He said, 68 mile of it. He said, you're a marvellous driver. He said, how do you do it? He says, you've got to watch yourselves when you've handled and so on.
Mr. Kosygin was inspecting 3 ranks of troops in the Red Square. All very quiet. And all of a sudden, ashoo! He says, who sneezed? Not a titter. Who sneezed? Nothing. He says, Sergeant, shoot the front rank. Steps over. He says, right. Who sneezed? Nothing. Sergeant, the second rank. Now then, who sneezed for the last time? Little Russian soldier says, Comrade Kosygin, it was I. He says, you? Bless you. Beethoven's valet went in, he said, I'm leaving you. He said, how do you mean you're leaving me? You've been with me 22 years. He said, I'm sick of hearing you playing the piano morning, noon and night. It cost me £6 a week for Aspros. He said, you can't leave me after 22 years. I get my inspiration from you. He says, me, don't make me laugh. Ha 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 ha. Fellow pays 400 quid for a diving lung, aqua kit and all the lot. Dives off the deep end at Newquay. He's down about 4,000 foot. Little fella there in a bikini. He thought, 400 quid for this equipment, I've been conned here. 10,000 feet. This fella follows him down. 400 quid. Straight to the bottom. This fella's there again. He gets his slate out. I've paid 400 quid for this equipment. How come you're down as far as me? And the fella writes back, I'm drowning, you nit. Family on this estate wouldn't pay any rent, so they sent the bailiff up with a blue paper, summons. under the door. They had a pair of bellows the other side, blew it back. So he shoved it under again, they blew it back again. It's gone on for about 4 hours. Texting someone's back to the town hall. I said, "You get the rent?" He said, "No, and I wouldn't pay any rent for a drafty bloody house like that." Fellow walks in the pub like that. Landau said, "A bit of shell shock, pal." He said, "No." He said, "I can tell the time with this." "What time is it then?" He says, 11:15. I said, "You're wrong, it's 11 o'clock. Oh, he said, "I'm slow."
Nice place, isn't it? Lovely place. I've got the missus with me tonight. Got the wife with me. She's a stripper, my missus, you know. He's on the roof now getting the lead. Like it. Oh, I'm browned off. I am. I'm browned off. This country's finished, isn't it? It's finished. We've been kidded with these decimals, haven't we? Hey, we've been kidded with these decimals, haven't we? A pound's only worth 10 bob, isn't it? Hey? And if you've been sick lately, if you go sick, if you go to the doctor and say you're sick, it's no good saying you're sick. You've got to tell me you're sick a week before you're sick. Do you know that? Hey, have you noticed? Make an appointment. And you go to the doctor, and he says, "Make an appointment, come back next week." He's hoping you'll peg out. Or you'll get better. My mate went to the doctor last week. Oh, terrible smoker. Always smoking. The doctor said, "Stop smoking, you'll have cancer." So he stopped it for a while. He got the habit. He kept buying them and lighting them, forgetting, and put it out with his foot. He got cancer in the toe. It's true. Bloke went to the chemist the other day. He said, "What have you got for hiccups?" The chemist hit him. He said, "What's that for?" He said, "Well, you haven't got hiccups now, have you?" He says, "Not for me, it's for the missus outside." You see? Took my lad to get his hair cut. I said, "How much to cut the lad's hair?" He said, 4 and 6. I said, "How much for a shave?" He said, £1. I said, "Well, shave his head." The country's finished. You should emigrate. And the place to go to is Africa. It's empty. I've just got back from Africa. Lovely place, Africa. I met this little black Irish bloke on the boat. Oh, I knew he was Irish. He had McAlpine all over his turban. Took me home to his mud hut. Lovely place. 2 up and 2 down. Running water. "Hey," said, "I don't like your mother-in-law." He said, "Well, just eat the chips." Shut up. He said, "You know what I said last time? I'll come and live next door to you. Remember? Hey, I'll bring your rent down."
There was 3 Scotchmen having a drink in the pub with a Jewish fella. And they ordered Scotch whiskey, and the Yiddish boy, the Jewish boy, ordered Horlicks. By the time it was his round to pay, he was fast asleep. They caught 3 blokes playing cards illegally. You see, you can't play cards now unless you're in a licensed premises. So therefore, if you're playing cards and you're found, you get charged for illegal gambling. Do you know that? And they caught these 3 fellas. One was a parish priest, one was a vicar, one was a rabbi. The judge said, "Father, were you playing cards?" He said, "I wasn't, Your Honour." He said, "Believe your father. Case dismissed." He said, "Vicar, were you playing cards?" He said, "I wasn't, Your Honour." He said, "I believe you, Vicar. Case dismissed." He said, "Rabbi, were you playing cards?" He said, "Who with?" I love the Yiddish humour, don't you? Eh? Of course, I'm a good Catholic myself, good left footer. All the Liverpool lads, all good left footer. You know, in Liverpool, we have the Grand National. We've always seen the Grand National on the telly. We have a lot of Americans come over to Liverpool to watch the Grand National. And one Yank went sightseeing round Liverpool and he ended up watching the ferry boats going across the Mersey. And as he stood watching the ferry boats, he turned around to this Liverpool fella. He said, "Hey, Mac, I believe you got a race here today in your village." Village? This Liverpool fella said, "Look out the way, the horses are coming round. This is the water jump." Fella walking along Blackpool Promenade with a dog, and the dog, lovely little thing, who was doing handstands, back somersaults, all kinds of tricks. A lovely little dog. And a crowd gathered round this dog doing all called the tricks. And a fella stood there, stuttered very badly. He said, that's fantastic dog, isn't it? He said, I'll give you a fiver for that. The bloke says, you're on, so he gave him the dog, and he took it home to his brother, who stuttered just as bad. He said, hey, kid. Have you seen this fantastic dog? It can do handstands, and back somersaults, and all kinds of tricks. He said, it can nearly talk. His brother said, that makes three of us.
Very lucky to be here tonight. I was at the doctor this morning. I couldn't go last week, I was ill. Fella come in, the doctor was behind me. He said, Doctor, can I have some more sleeping tablets for the wife? Doctor said, why? He said, she woke up. I don't expect you to fall off your seats if you can just give me an occasional nod. I tell you what, if you're a good audience, I'll do 10 minutes. If you're a bad audience, I'll do an hour and a quarter. Next fellow walked in and said, Doctor, there's blue flies all over me. I can't stand there's blue flies. The doctor said, don't flick them on me. Next fellow said, Doctor, I'm a kleptomaniac. The doctor said, are you taking anything for it? Thank you very much, relations. Next fellow walked in and said, Doctor, I've got flat feet. So we give him a foot pump. Next fellow walks in and said, Doctor, I'm suffering from loss of memory. The doctor said, how long's this been going on? He said, how long's what been going on?
Hey, what about them three blokes sat in a railway compartment? They were Englishmen, this is right, this. They were Englishmen, Jew and Pakistani, and a fly flew in. And it landed on Englishman, and he looked at it, he flicked it onto Jew. Jew looked at it, flicked it onto Paki. Paki picked it up, net. Another one flew in, landed on Englishman, he flicked his head into Jew. Jew gauged it for 5 seconds, he picked it up. He said, anybody like to buy a fly?
I don't care. I don't give a damn. I don't really. Because I heard about the bloke who dreamt he was dead, who went to heaven, and when he got up there was a notice. He says, all the fellas have been dominated by the wives all their life, form a queue. And there's a big queue. On the other side, all the fellas have been the boss in the house, form a queue here. One fella. So Gabriel went to class and said, what are you doing here, son? He said, don't know, the missus told me to stand here. It's true.
This fella's in this pub, you see, and this fella come in and he hit him. Doo! Right in the head. Like that. Oh. He said, I'll get you for that. I'll get you for that. I'll get you for that. Take me years, I'll get you for that. Get you for that. So about 4 years later, he's got this gang. And he said, now place yourselves. And he said he's going in there to have his usual pints. He'll come out and get some fish and chips. And he comes down the road and down this alley. He said, when he comes down here, I want you to grab him and batter him, kick him, I'll have him for that. He said he's down here at 9:20 every night. So they wait. Get in. Got your hammer ready, Your boots on, Charlie, your boots. Down here, 9:20, no sign. He's coming, you know, he'll be down here. All right, Daddy. 11 o'clock. Usually he'll be on now, he said. Hope nothing's happened to him.
Good, isn't it, that? And what about this fella that has a budgie so he gets another one to keep it company? And the next morning he come downstairs and there's his budgie swinging on the perch and the other one's stone dead, he thought. Flipping it, look at that. So he goes out and gets another one and the next morning he come downstairs and there's his budgie swinging on the perch again. The other one's stone dead, he thought. Right, you little monkey, I'll cure you. So he goes out and gets a big golden eagle. You can get them anywhere. And he stuck that in the cage. And the next morning he come downstairs and there's his budgie swinging on the perch. Hadn't got a feather on it. And there's this golden eagle stretched out. And he went running up to the cage and said, what happened? He said, I had to take my coat off, so that one. Good, isn't it? And what about the two brothers going up to heaven and St. Peter's waiting for them because one's a goodie and one's a baddie? And he said to the goodie, what kind of a life did he lead on earth? And he said, I didn't drink, smoke, swear or bother with girls. So he said, you've got a Rolls Royce. And he said to the baddie, how did you go on? He said, I smoked, drank, swore the lot. And I went out with girls as well. He said, you've got a Mini Minor. And half an hour later, the goodie's coming down this road in his Rolls Royce. And he saw this Mini smashed up against a tree, and his brother stood there laughing his head off. He said, what are you laughing at? He said, I've just seen a vicar riding a bike.
This fella living next door to me, mind you, he is coloured, he's Chinese, he's yellow. Chinese living next door to me. I'm gonna move. A bloke knocked on his door one day, he said, excuse me, sir, I'm from the soap company. Do you wash your Tide? Yes, he said, I wash your Tide. He said, and why do you wash your Tide? He said, it's too bloody cold outside. He knocked at my front door, this Chinese fella. Knocked at my front door. I said, go round the back. Well, you don't like it, do you? All the rice on the path. He went round the back, he knocked at the back door, I opened the window. I said, what do you want? He said, your house, same size as my house. How many rolls wallpaper you use on front room? I said, 16 rolls. I saw him a fortnight after. He said, me got 6 rolls left over. I said, so have I.
You know, I've been on a diet now for months. This is true, this. I've never eaten a potato for months. No potatoes, no bread, no sugar in my coffee. I was starving. I went to one of these big stores in Manchester, went round a self-service cafeteria. I ended up with a lousy cup of coffee without sugar. It's terrible with coffee without sugar, isn't it? Starving. And I sat down on this table. I was drinking this terrible, and a fella come along at his wellies. He had 2 dirty, big, fresh cream cakes and a cup of coffee, and he sat on the same table. I thought, the dirtiest... I was starving. He ate 1 cream cake, drank his coffee, walked away and left the cream cake on the table. I thought, blimey, here goes my diet. I looked at the cream cake looked at me. I thought, should I? So I said, yes. So I grabbed the cream cake by the scruff of the neck. And I stuffed it in my mouth all in one go. And the bloke come back with another cup of coffee.
Mr. Kosygin's going round this big factory. with Ted Heath. He said, what time they start work here? He said, well, they start about 8 o'clock, clocking on, he said. In Russia, they start at 6 o'clock in the morning. Any breaks? Oh, he said, they knock off about 10 o'clock, all this wagon comes up and cup of tea and that. In Russia, no breaks. How long for dinner? He said, well, you get an hour. He said, something like a bet. He said, they take an hour and a half. In Russia, 10 minutes for dinner. Sandwiches, Russian sandwiches by the machine. What time they finish? He said, oh, they're pumping the bites up at 4 o'clock, he said. All of his children's hour, he said, on the television. In Russia, they work till 10 o'clock at night. 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night in Russia. He said, you couldn't get these lads to do that. He says, why not? He says, because they're all communists.